Beyond the Mic with Sean Dillon.
We're joined on the Starline by actor, author, poet, and activist. You've seen him in Charmed, Supernatural, and the rarely seen TSA short as Officer Franklin in Yeah, but is it ticking? His next role is Harvey Dent in CW's Gotham Knights. We welcome author of Some Things I Still Can't Tell You, Misha Collins.
Hi, Sean. How are you?
Absolutely great, Misha. Let's go beyond the mic. Gotham Knights continues revealing the story as the first season continues with the ragtag heroes and antiheroes. How has working with these talented young actors changed you?
It has been a deeply rewarding experience for me. I have been working on the show Supernatural for most of my adult life. It was a 12-year run on that show. And we were a bunch of adult men who spent our working hours pranking one another on set and laughing a lot and really making a mockery of the process while we were making television. This has been stepping into a very professional operation where everybody is taking their work very seriously, and it's feeling nice to be working with these young actors who are forcing me as a man in his middle age to finally grow up.
Why start now? Why should Supernatural fans enjoy Gotham Knights?
I think we're dealing with a lot of the same storylines on a big mythological level that Supernatural deals with. Good and evil, fighting against one another, trying to do the right thing, but using any means possible to get there. And then also themes of family surface in this show quite a bit. It's about father-son relationships. It's about found family. And those are themes that resonated throughout the run of Supernatural as well. And also, I should point out, I'm in Gotham Knights and I was in Supernatural. So there's a very clear bridge between the two there.
How are you like Harvey Dent?
Well, Harvey Dent, I think, people who know me and don't like me would say, I don't know, those who aren't familiar with Harvey Dent is from the Batman universe, as you might have gleaned from the title Gotham Knights. Harvey Dent is the district attorney in Gotham who eventually becomes the villain, Two-Face. And the Two-Face villain has shown up in countless Batman comics, but as well a couple of the bigger Batman movies over the years. And people who know me and don't like me would say I'm two-faced, and so that makes sense. And then people who know me and know that I have had a long run of political activism in my life. I was a White House intern many years ago, and I thought I was going to go into politics before I went into acting. So Harvey Dent is a politician in Gotham Knights. He's running for mayor. He's an elected official as district attorney, but I think those themes sort of tie in with me a little bit.
Why does this role challenge you?
Well, Harvey Dent suffers as the season unfolds, and we've started to see the clues here, but we haven't seen it. It hasn't quite played out in the show yet, but I'm gonna spoil something for your listeners. Harvey Dent suffers from something called identity dysmorphia. So, and colloquially, there we go. It's too early for me to pronounce big words. That is a split personality disorder. So I get to, with this character, I'm playing two different roles. One version is the Harvey Dent that the public knows and has elected to be their district attorney. And the other version is his shadow side. Two different personalities that emerge from one corporal vessel.
Misha Collins from Gotham Knights joins us beyond the mic for the Rocking 8. All it is 8 random questions. Answer with the first thing that comes to your mind. There is no pressure.
I feel lots of pressure for the record.
Really? No pressure. Favorite thing you've ever rebuilt using salvaged materials?
I have a table and benches that I pulled out of an old schoolhouse, timbers from an old schoolhouse.
Will the greatest international scavenger hunt ever return?
I don't know, but I'd love to do something. I ran this scavenger hunt that was in 100 countries around the world, and I hope to do something with it again, but not this year is the answer.
What's the one thing, and I know you took something, one thing you took from the Supernatural and Gotham Knights set?
From Gotham Knights, I have a placard that says the office of Harvey Dent, and from Supernatural, I have an entire garage full of things I stole.
Best thing about your son and daughter?
I love watching my kids grow up into autonomous human beings.
Now, if Jon Favreau calls you for a role, but you're playing a Mandalorian and you have to keep your helmet on and no one knows it's you, do you book the gig?
Certainly. And I also get a body double to show up at work for me sometimes.
Who's the actor that inspired you growing up?
Oh, there were many, but ironically, Tommy Lee Jones was one of them, and Tommy Lee Jones played Two-Face in one of the Batman movies 30 years ago.
Misha, what's your favorite part of your philanthropic work?
Rallying people together to join resources and do something good for small communities.
Who would win a woodworking battle royale between you and Nick Offerman?
I don't know. Nick has, I think he has a much better workshop than I do.
It's time for One Big Question with Misha Collins from Gotham Knights Beyond the Mic. What's your favorite story your grandmother ever told you about your grandfather when he was off in World War II?
My grandmother didn't know that communication obviously wasn't what it is today. At the end of World War II, she knew my grandfather had one last mission to fly, and he wrote her a letter when he finished the mission and told her he was done and coming home. And he had been injured and he had to go into some rehabilitation, and it took about 3 months for him actually to make it home. But the letter that he sent that said that he had finished his last mission and was coming home never reached my grandmother. So with the long lapse and knowing that he had flown that he was going to fly this last dangerous mission, she thought that he had died. And so when he showed up at her doorstep, she wasn't sure she wasn't seeing a ghost.
Who's the one star in Gotham Knights we'll be seeing a lot of in the future?
I think the entire young cast on this show has the potential to be movie stars. They're really some phenomenal actors.
And why should people watch Gotham Knights?
Gotham Knights is actually just some very entertaining and well-made television. And as the season goes on, it gets richer, more complex. The characters get really relatable. And I would encourage people not only to watch it, but to stick with it, because I think every episode is better than the last. And if anyone wants to catch up, the nice thing about modern television watching is that it's very easy. So if anyone wants to catch up and hasn't seen the first few episodes, but you can watch the previous episodes on the CW website or on the CW app and catch up.
He stole almost everything from the Supernatural set. Hopes the GISH will return soon and wants to make the world a better place. See Misha Collins as Harvey Dent in Gotham Knights on the CW. Misha, thanks for taking the time to talk with us today.
Thanks, Sean.
And that, my friends, is a Beyond the Mic shortcut.